Hello everyone. So today this our group 7 is presenting to you our CS 692 final sprint 8 presentation, that's text summarization and questionnaire generation using machine learning. My group members are Haley Rana, Jasmeet Kaur Ubhi, Karandeep Singh Multani, me Ria Rai, and Shreyas Damle. I'll be just giving you a short introduction of what our project exactly is, what we worked on from CS691 until this sprint 8. So our main core of this project is text summarization and questionnaire generation. So text summarization is basically where we are generating a concise summary of a voluminous large text, which is focusing on particular section that would convey us useful information, and we would not be losing overall meaning of the entire summary. Then to access this, the application user must register themselves by signing up. Only then he can log into the app. Our application also targets the uploaded document as a source, and the important topics that are generated from the uploaded document will allow the user to concentrate over a particular topic, and he can also get the most relevant information of the topic. Then the based on the topic is that is selected by the user, a relevant set of questions are generated, and the user can select this question from the drop down list. After one particular question is selected by the user from the list, our application will extract a suitable answer from the document that is uploaded. The extracted answer is sometimes quite long and pretty tedious for the user to understand. So with the help of machine learning technologies we've implemented into our application, that will help us generate a short and a concise summary of the answer, through which the user will be able to get relevant information in a easy and fast manner. Our application will also allow the users to understand the summary in an audio format just by clicking the narrate answer button. All of this, which I've mentioned until now, this was a basic MVP that we had to implement in CS691. Further, I'll be explaining to you what we've come up with in CS692. So we have introduced a couple of new features, and these features were more like an add-on which would enhance the user experience of our application. The features or the functionalities that we've added in this semester are voice assistant, upload list, and an English dictionary. So basically, upload list, coming to what an upload list functionality is, this functionality basically helps the user to maintain their documents, and he can access it from the application itself. So what this basically means is that if the user comes onto our app and he uploads a document, and later on if he's trying to retrieve the document, he wouldn't have to get out of the app to get that. He would just have to navigate onto our app, and he would be able to find it from the past uploaded documents. In addition to that, we have also implemented a voice assistant where a user will be giving instructions to the application. It's more like a smart voice assistant, so she can basically perform basic tasks like opening up Google or googling up something for you, making a Wikipedia search for you, looking up for a location or a time that you add in. In addition to that, we've also added an additional functionality wherein the user will be able to open an uploaded PDF by giving a voice instruction. In addition to that, we have also enhanced the CSS part of this application such that our application looks more attractive. And we have also made a couple of changes to our existing algorithm by integrating hyperparameters tuning. And in this sprint, what we've done is we have integrated a dictionary. What this dictionary would basically do is, if a user is in the midst of using our app and he comes across a word which is very difficult for him to understand, then all he'd have to do is just go through the dictionary tab, look up for that word, and he would be able to find the meaning, which would be opened up on a web browser. So next, moving on, I'll just give you a brief overview of what our user personas are. Considering a college student or high school student named Sam D'Souza, He just has he would be considered as the basic younger generation, um, a kid from school who is like around a teaching assistant here in a university. He's got the basic set of goals that every college going kid would have. He's an ambitious student of in high school who's passionate about various things, mainly focusing on the motivations and the frustrations that a student will go through. What motivation Sam has is that he wants to get into an esteemed university for graduate studies. He'd want to clear all of his entrance exams, get good grades, and pursue his passions. And then moving on to frustrations, wherein to achieve these motivations that he'd go through, those are having to highlight and take out points from various important subjects, studying for various subjects at one point of time simultaneously, generating questions and answers for self study for good grades, and having to read bulky textual documents to jot down important topics from subject which is time consuming. So basically, you can consider the younger generation that's probably from 25 and younger is consisted of the 73% of the market size. So you can say that this application can come in handy to a major chunk of population, that is student school going or college going kids. Moving on, we can talk about Dan Brown, who is a similar sort of a TA who's studying in a university. He is enrolled for a computer science program, focusing on the motivations and the frustrations that he would go through is that he would want to optimize his work time. That would be his prior most motivation. Optimizing his assignment checking work, applying for internships, and maintaining a work life balance. Then moving on to his frustrations is completing multiple subject assignments, jotting down important points from various technical papers, generating potential questions to set question papers, deriving answers from various questions, and having to read a lot of bulky textual documents before plotting important points. So, as you can see, both of these kids have the same set of frustrations and motivations to some extent. So, that's where our application is what comes in handy. It would turn out to be a very cost effective and helpful alternative for every student, such that their everyday tasks or creating summaries or questions would be eased up. Moving on to what technologies we've used to come up with this application, there are a couple of technologies which we've loved working with. Some of them are Django. The package version that we've implemented was 3.0.3, and this was a full stack web framework that we've implemented. Has NLP is our major core of this project. So we had to get an NLTK, that's a natural language toolkit. The package version that we've implemented for this was 3.4.5. So as you would know, text processing for tokenization, classification, and tagging are the main categories of the classifications which comes under NLP. So the NLTK toolkit was majorly used for this. Moving on, we've used GenSim. The package version that we've used is 3.8.1. This was basically used for topic modeling. Considering that we've converted our text summary to a PDF format, PyPDF has been a important, significant technology for this. The package version that we've used is 1.26.0, wherein we've converted uploaded PDF to text for topic generation by using this technology. Next is GTTS. GTTS is where we've basically helped the voice assistant get a better accurate information. So GTTS is Google Text to Speech API, which will be taking MP3 data and converting it into text and passing it to speech recognition Python library. Moving on, difflib, the package version that we've used is 3.2. Using this function, get close matches to get the word from JSON data file for dictionary. And as you know, we have basically hosted our entire project and database onto Heroku. So Heroku PostgreSQL is the main technology that we've implemented, and the package version is 12. So Heroku PostgreSQL is a main database storage for saving user data and the files. Moving on, system architecture with Django framework will be explained by Shreyas. Thank you.
Thank you, Ria. So I'll be explaining the system architecture with Django framework. So we have used a Django as our full stack framework to develop the whole application. So in the system architecture, you can see the client can view the Django forms, which are developed using HTML, CSS, and also we have enhanced the CSS using Bootstrap. So behind that thing, on the server side, there is an app logic which basically generates the list of questions, generates the list of answers, and all those algorithms which we have implemented. There are view logics which displays those algorithms, the output from the algorithms, like the generated questions and answers. There are voice assistants which gives the user back some output, or if you want to see a profile picture, if you want to see your own profile page, we have developed that also. So there's a view logic which controls that, and the models which controls the user database and user file uploads. So all these models are a set of database which are stored on the database called as PostgreSQL. We have implemented this database because it is very easy to do a complex operations using PostgreSQL, which is requirement for our application. And we have hosted this database on a cloud server, that is Heroku Cloud Server. Next slide. So what is NLP, machine learning? So this is the basic fundamental of the whole project. We have used machine learning inside the NLP to get some useful data, and I'll be explaining how this works behind our application. So in order to understand our application, it is important to understand what is NLP inside machine learning. And there are few steps in which we can get some useful information from a raw texture data. So the first step is to get the raw text. You can see the diagram. There is a first one, that is a raw text, and after that text we have to extract the text from that thing. And we are doing text cleaning operation. So basically text cleaning includes extracting the useful text and removing the noise. So noise can be in form of punctuation marks, noise can be in form of stop words, and it can be in form of like a number or any unidentified character or any character which is of less importance. So we have various functions for that. And the next step is to do text processing. So in this text processing, we divide each word as a separate token, and we can also divide each sentence as a separate token. So this is useful for those algorithms which we implement in the further steps. And we do stemming and lemmatization. So stemming and lemmatization are the process where we collaborate similar kind of words. So if it is go and going, if it is run and running, we usually consider two words as one. That is, we consider run for running and run for run. So we only take one word. So this kind of process is called as stemming, or we can also use lemmatization. And then we do the word frequency. Word frequency is basically an approach where how many times a specific word has appeared in the whole document. So this is our word frequency. Next, this text processing is passed to the two separate algorithms. One is topic modeling and another one is summarization. So in topic modeling, we try to determine about the text, like what the text is really about. So topic modeling algorithm includes bag of words and LDA. LDA uses TF-IDF algorithm. So LDA is an algorithm in itself. So basically these algorithms try to understand what a text is about and try to extract some important topics. Once we have extracted those important topics, we have used these topics to create a question. So we try to identify what a paragraph is about, and then we try to extract the topic, and then we frame a question around that topic. And after framing the question, we extract all those sentences which has the topic inside them. So this is how a question is generated, and this is how an answer is generated. And after generating the answer, if the answer is too long, because that topic can be present in most of the sentences, we don't want an answer like a generalized answer. We want it to be concise. So we have implemented our summarization algorithm, wherein the summarization algorithm basically tries to just extract those important topics and those important sentences which make sense to the question. So the summarization algorithm works on finding out the sentence score. So every sentence will be scored based on their words and important keywords present in that sentence. There is a specific threshold which is decided, and if a sentence is passing that specific threshold, then that sentence is considered for the summary. So this is how a basic machine learning in natural language processing works. Next slide, please. So this is our basic project algorithm flow. So once the user lands to our page and he has signed up for our application, he has to log in. And after logging in, he has to upload a text document. So text document could be a lesson file from his history subject. And that document will be stored in a PostgreSQL database. And then some important all the raw text will be extracted from document, and then the keyword generation algorithm works here. So basically we try to extract those important keywords. And how we do that? So as I explained earlier, we do tokenization where we break every word into a separate keyword, and then we remove the stop word, we provide lemmatization, and then we do feature engineering where we implement all those topic modeling algorithms for generating a specific question around that topic, and the TF-IDF algorithm for summarization of a long form answer. And this is how our model works, and which displays out the questions and which display the answer. Next slide, please. So I'll be explaining you our project functionalities. So first functionality is the summary of PDF. So as a student, I want to be able to summarize my whole lesson into some concise points wherein I can be able to explain, I can be able to get useful information in a short amount of time using this technology. So we have authentications and credentials page of app. So basically it is a user login, user email ID and username with the password, and passwords are like with the proper conventions. It should be 8 characters, it should contain special symbols and like that. So we have designed a home page. So basically when a user logs in, he can land onto a home page which explains about our application. Next slide. So this is a drop down menu displaying topics. So first step of our algorithm is to extract important topics around which a question can be framed. So we have created a drop down list. The next is the list of questions. So after extracting topic, we create list of questions around that topic. So there are a lot of possible questions around that topic, which will be explained further in the presentation. And then the implementation of summarization algorithm. So after displaying questions, we generate the answer, specific answer, and if it is too long, we can summarize that answer. Next slide, please. Then we have implemented cloud technology into our application. So as we all know the importance of cloud in this century and how it has overtaken the technology, we have used Heroku Cloud Server as our cloud based storage for the database. And then we have implemented the upload document functionality, which where user can upload his documents into the cloud and he can get those documents outside from the cloud. And we have also implemented a voice assistant functionality. So voice assistant is basically an additional feature for our application where a user doesn't have to leave the application and go outside and search for his queries, but a voice assistant can do Google queries, Wikipedia search and all sort of things, which will be explained further. And herein uh, we are trying to help our user to not to waste his time in typing and doing things, but whatever he can do through his voice. Next slide, please. So yeah, so like I said, the voice assistant, we have implemented Google searches, various Google searches like maps, links, times, etc. We have implemented Wikipedia search. So we are also scraping data from Wikipedia. So if a user wants some information just specifically from Wikipedia, he can do that using our voice assistant. and there's a word dictionary application. So for the all those academic students who wants to get the meaning of a word, specific word, and they can just do it through our application. There is a small application which we have created inside the main application. Next slide, please. So we will be explaining you this functionality which we have implemented in our last sprint, and Karan will take on from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyas. Can you please back up the slide? Thank you. So Shreyas already has introduced you, like what have we done in the last sprint, voice assistant through Wikipedia and voice assistant through Google search. So in this, I'll be explaining you the functionality we introduced in the sprint 8. We did two functionalities: word dictionary. Online word dictionary is a quick dictionary for searching meanings of words that user is not able to understand. While generating text summary, if a user doesn't understand a word, he does not need to jump out of the application and find a dictionary. It saves time. So basically, motivation behind creating this word dictionary was to keep users inside the application, so they don't have to jump out of the application and open a new tab to search for the word they were looking for. And the other functionality we introduce is the password reset functionality. User can now reset his password in case if he doesn't forgets it. Thank you. Next slide. So sprint 8 work done. So we have task IDs, tasks, priorities, issue identified, and durations we took to complete it. So the first task we did is work dictionary application. It was in the higher priority. And the issues we identify is that integration with the word dictionary package, and the status is now complete. The second one is reset password functionality. It was in the medium priority, and the issues we identify is that integration of development for local mailing server, and it is also now completed. And we also enhance and improve our profile page, where user can go and edit their profile page, and it is now improved. It was also medium priority, and we haven't find any issues with that, and the status is now complete. Thank you. Next slide. So in this slide, I'll be explaining the sprint 8 backlogs. So the first one is that as a Scrum team, we have to research about implementation, methodology, technology, and process follow for dictionary integration, password reset functionality, and connecting to local host to receive password reset function. It was in the medium priority, and it was assigned to our Scrum team, and it took 20 hours to complete it. And the second one is, as a development team, we have to integrate dictionary components where a user can look up for a word and can find the meaning and definition. And it was in the highest priority, and this is what we have done in this sprint. And it was assigned to development team, and it took 10 hours to complete it. And the third one is, as a development team, we have to implement the password resetting functionality, which would let the user reset the password by clicking on forgot password and entering the mail ID where password resetting instructions would be resent, and they can change their password. And it was also in the higher priority for this sprint. And it was also assigned to the development team, and it took 25 hours for us to complete it. And the fourth one is, we have to initiate and complete the connection of local host to receive password reset instructions and ensure the connectivity of the same. And it was also assigned to the development team, and it took also 25 hours to complete it. And the last one is, we have to test the whole working of the application such that the user experience is smooth and as expected. And it took 30 hours for us to complete it. And total hour, this whole backlog took us 110 hours. Thank you. Next slide. So from here on, it will be explained by my team member, Haley. Thank you.
Thanks, Karan. So we move on with our test cases. So the new feature that we introduced is dictionary application. So the cases were input value, the submit button, and also the displaying of results. We had to write the code in Django. So the output data we got was for the input value. We got input value should be taken by the package. Also for submit button, the functionality of submit button should trigger the search. And also the results should be displayed on the web page, the meaning of the word. So we were successful in passing all the test cases. Next slide, please. Further, one more new feature we introduced was password reset functionality, which was not there previously. The cases are input email ID. So we need to input the email ID first. That was the test case which passed. Second was the reset link. The reset link is sent to the user. So yeah, that was also successful. The resetting the password in the database, this is also the most important thing. So the new password is inputted, and updating the password in the database was also passed. And the third thing we introduced was update profile page. So if a user changes the profile pic and the user ID or the email ID, then it should be changed. Like that was also executed, and input and update profile user ID and email ID was also done. So that was also passed. Next slide, please. This is our burn down chart, which shows the planned tasks and the actual tasks and the time taken. Next slide, please. So we have our retrospective for sprint 8. What went well was we were able to frame appropriate user stories. We were able to distribute the tasks and evenly. Our time management and scheduling of meetings was all on point. What can we improve was the involvement of all team members at the same time. Second is the working with deadlines and action items which we plan to implement in our future projects are setting of deadlines and working in a team. This is our project deployment. Here there is a Django server to run the application, and our whole application is displayed to the user on the web browser. It has various functionalities which will be explained in the next flowchart diagram, and also the all the data will be stored in the Heroku PostgreSQL database. So this is the basically the project is deployed on project Heroku PostgreSQL. Next slide, please. This is the main project flow diagram that a user will go through when he comes to our application. So so I'll explain this. If you have if a user has an account, then he has to directly log in, or else he has to provide his details and register himself. And after that, he comes to the login page where he has to give his credentials, which he has registered, and he can log in. Further, he can go over to 6 tabs, which are home page. The home page is the main heart of the application, where the user can be able to generate the text summary. When a user visits the home page, he can upload the document, select the topic, and after selecting the topic, he can select the question and he can generate summary. And after that, he can also go over to the upload tab, where he can select his username, choose file, and choose the desired file he wants to upload. This file will be visible in the upload list tab if he wants to access in future. Also, we have a new recent feature, that is voice assistant. User can directly give voice commands and search whatever he wants. Also, we have introduced dictionary feature, where he can search for a word and then press the submit button and get the meaning. And also one more thing is the profile tab, where he can update things like user ID, email ID, etc., and profile picture, of course. And yeah, this is also one of the things a user can do. Further, he can just log out. So this was the major flow diagram. Next slide, please. Further on, Jasmeet will be explaining. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. So from here onwards, I will walking you through all the screenshot of the functionality that we have implemented in our application in both CS691 and CS692 class. So let's get started. As our application is deployed in a Django server, first user have to run the server by giving the command python manage.py run server. Once the server is running, user have to give the link of the application in the browser, and they will start running the application. When the user gives the link in a browser, application will be running, they will get the login page. So if the user is returning, they have to give the username and password to access all the functionality of application. But if the user is a new user, they have to sign up first by giving all the information like username, email address, and password. So this slide showing our login window and the sign up window. This slide showing the activity that the user have to perform in order to get the summarization of their documents. So let's get started. User have to first log into the application. When they log into the application, they will land to the home tab, and there they have to choose the document they want to upload by using the upload button. Once they uploaded the document, they have to select the topic. The topic will get generated in a topic drop-down list. Once they selected the topic, they have to click on the question button. When they click on the question button, a list of question will get generated, and this question are generated based on the topic which we have selected in the topic field. They have to select one of the question. When they selected the question, they have to click on the answer button in order to get the answer of the question. When they click on the answer button, they can either listen to the answer by going to the narrate answer button, or they can get the summary of the answer. So in order to get the summary of the answer, they have to click on the summary button. If they want to listen to the answer audio, they have to click on the narrate answer. So this is the functionality of the summarization. And this is how our home tab is looking from front end. And all the functionality which I have explained in the above slide, all those functionality we can perform here. Going to the next slide. So till home tab, all the functionality we have implemented in CS691 class. From here, I will explaining you all the functionality that we have implemented in CS692 class. So in this section, what is happening that user can upload the document, and they can access it in future by accessing the upload list tab. So this slide is showing the upload section window and the upload list window. So this slide showing you the activity that the user have to perform for voice assistant. So user have to first log into the application. Once they log into the application, they have to go to the voice assistant tab. When they go to the voice assistant tab, there is a button called click here button. So user have to click on that button. Once they click on that button, voice assistant will greet them. And then user have to give the instruction like whatever they want, like they want Google search or Wikipedia search, or they want to search any PDF. Once they give that instruction to the voice assistant will reply back with what they want to search, like what PDF they want to search or what they want to search in a Google. So user have to give back the instruction by giving the name of the PDF or by the thing they want to search in a Google. Once they're given back, voice assistant will return back the result of that PDF or the Google search they ask for. And the process is got terminated. And this is how our voice assistant tab looks from the front end, and all the activity which I have explained up in above slide can be performed here. Now this slide showing you the activity that the user have to perform for dictionary. So user have to log into the application. In order to access the dictionary tab, they have to go to the dictionary. They have to select the dictionary tab. In there, they will find a search word text box. There, they can give the word they want to search. Once they give the word, they have to submit the word by clicking on the submit button. And then the meaning of that word will get displayed below the submit button and the process get terminated. This slide showing the front end of the dictionary tab. This is how it's looking in our application, and all the activity which I mentioned in a user activity diagram of dictionary can be performed here. Further going on, user can also reset their password. So if any user is returning back to the application and they forgot their password, they can easily reset it. There is a link called forgot password. They have to click on that, and after clicking on that, they will land to this window, which is reset window. Here they have to give the email address and have to request for the password reset. When they have submitted their email address, they will receive a email in which all the instruction has been mentioned. In the instruction which the user will receive in their email, there is a one link given which they have to copy paste to the browser. Once they copy paste it to the browser, they will land to this reset password window, and here they can give the new password. So these all are the functionality that we have implemented in our CS692 class. All our current code is present in our GitHub, and all the technical documentation, user manual, deployment instruction are there in the GitHub link, and you can access it from our wiki page. And here is a link mentioned for the wiki page. Next will be the demo section of our application. Thank you. Hello everyone. I'm Jasmeet, and welcome to the demo section of our project, text summarization and questionnaire generation using machine learning. So in this section, we will walk through all the functionality of our application that we have implemented in both CS691, 692 class. So after downloading all the required packages from the required text file, I will run the Django server in which the application has been deployed. Run the server. So now our server is up and application is running. I will open the browser. And here I will give the application link. So our application is running. So as a new user, I will sign up first. So we'll go to this sign up now. And this is our sign up page. Here I have to give all the information like username, email address, password. I'll give the email address. In the password field, I can see there are some conditions. Conditions are like it should not be entirely numeric. It should at least contain 8 characters, and it should not be commonly used. So user must follow all these conditions. Then I have to confirm the password. Once I have given all the information, I will sign up now. So my account got successfully created. Now I will log in. So I'm able to successfully log in, and this is our home page in which we have landed. In home page, we will summarize our document. So let's get started. I will choose a file first. I will upload it. Once the file got uploaded, a list of topics will generated and it will come here in the topic drop down. From here, I can select the topic. I have selected the topic and I will click on the question button. When I click on the question button, I will get the list of the question. These questions are generated based on the topic I have selected in the topic field. So these are the list of the questions, and I will select one question and I will give the select button. Once I give the select button, I will click on the answer. When I click on the answer, I got the answer of the selected question. I can see the answer is quite long, so I will summarize it. I will click on the summary button. Now I got the summary of the above generated answer. I can also listen to the audio of the answer. I will click on the narrate answer. This will open the MP3 player and the audio sound will get played.
Examples of this evolution. Prehistoric sites with stone tools were almost exclusively found in areas which were not centers of.
So in this way, the answer is getting narrated and you can listen to the answer. All this functionality we have implemented in our CS 691 class. For 692, we have came up with few more functionality for our applications. Those are upload list, voice assistant, dictionary. We will walk through all this section one by one. Let's go to the upload first. So this section has been introduced so that user can upload their document and if they want to access them in the future. So from this section, they can do that easily. First, they have to select the username. Selecting the username helps them to identify the documents that they have uploaded. Then they have to give the document a name. So I've given the document name. Then this date field is taking the current date and it's automatically, so user don't have to give it. Now user have to choose the file. When I click on the upload file button, it will take me to the upload list tab. In this upload list tab, I can find all the documents and the usernames. Here is the document that I have uploaded just now, and here the username is coming, and here is the date. I can easily access to this document by just clicking here. Now the document, I can read it from here. Going back to the application. So this is the functionality of our upload and upload list. Now let's go to the voice assistant. In the voice assistant, what is happening that user is giving the instruction and voice assistant is giving back the desired result. This is helping the user in many ways. Instead of manually searching the things like PDF and all, they can give the instruction to the assistant and assistant will bring back that PDF. This is not only limited to the our application, you can also do the Google search or Wikipedia search as well. So now what gonna happen that I am going to click on this button and the voice assistant will respond back and I will give the instruction and it will give back me the results. So let's get started and we'll open the PDF now.
Greetings. How may I help you?
PDF.
Which PDF do you want to open?
Indian history.
Opening PDF.
So PDF got open here. I will share that screen. So here our PDF got open. Now going back to the application. So now we'll do the Google search.
Greetings. How may I help you?
Google search.
What do you want to search for?
Planets.
Here is what I found for planets.
So here I got my Google search result. Now let's do the Wikipedia search as well.
Greetings. How may I help you?
Wikipedia search.
What do you want to search in Wikipedia?
Apple Inc.
Here is what I found in Wikipedia. Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology company headquartered in Cupertino, California, that designs, develops and sells consumer electronics, computer software, and online services.
So this is our Wikipedia search result. What is happening in Wikipedia search is it's not only giving back the audio result, it also displaying the information here. So this is our voice assistant functionality. Now let's go to the other section of our application, which is dictionary. This section will help the user if they are reading their document or they're reading a summary. If they're finding some word difficult to understand and they want to know the meaning of that word or the definition of any word, they can easily do it here. So let's search a word. So here I got the meaning of the word. Now let's search for some definition. Here I got the definition of the environment. So these all are the functionality of our application. We have covered all this functionality in our CS692 class. One more tab we have to cover, which is profile. We have enhanced our profile tab as well this time. So now user can add their profile pictures and they can store their email address as well. They can easily choose their profile pictures from this field and they can update their profile. So this is the functionality. Now logging out from the application. So one more thing here I have to tell you, if a user is returning back and if they forgot their password, they can easily reset that. They have to go to the forgot password. They have to give here email address. And they have to click on this button. The instruction has been sent to my email address. I got one link in my email address and I will copy paste that link in the browser. This link will redirect to me to the reset password, and here I will give the new password. And now I can log in again with my new password. So these all are the functionality of our project. If you have any question, please let us know. Thank you.